Everyone, I'm
This
going to call
conference will now be recorded.
Ridge Special Magistrate Code Enforcement hearing. It's June 3rd. Verizon says it's 10 a.m. so we can get started. My name is Amity Barnard. I'll be the magistrate for this morning's hearing. If you are here for a code enforcement case, the first thing I'm going to do is swear everybody in, including staff. So if you're here for a code enforcement matter, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands. Anybody who's going to be speaking on any items on today's agenda. She's got her hands full, but she's going to try to raise that right one. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated. A little bit about process. I believe all of the cases on the agenda are violation hearings this morning. So when you hear your case called, you can come to the podium that's right in front of me. The town will put on its case first. They will call any witnesses they intend to call, show me any documents that they're likely to review. They'll show me their evidentiary case file. And once they're finished presenting their case, you'll get an opportunity to present your side of the story. Call any witnesses that you have, cross-examine any witnesses that the town has put on, show me any documents you have, tell me anything verbally that you want me to consider, and then once both sides have told me everything they want and showed me everything that they've brought with them, I will make a ruling and you will get a copy of that ruling either in the mail, definitely in the mail after the hearing today. With that, keep in mind all your testimony given here this morning is under oath, so I will turn it to the town and call its first case. And don't let me skip over the minutes, Madam Clerk. I did review them. Good grief. And I approved them as drafted for the May 6th minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. Christy Gowden on behalf of the town of Ocean Ridge. I think we're just going to go in order. The first case on today's agenda is case number 2025-025. The respondent is Lena Jessie Jose Harris. This is a dog on the beach citation. This was continued, as you may recall, from the last code enforcement hearing. One of our officers couldn't be here. This is a signed citation, so there was proper notice for that hearing. The town clerk and we have our officer present to testify on this, but the first question I need to ask is the town clerk if we received proof of delivery of the notice of continuance.
That one, they attempted, but no delivery.
No delivery. That's the certified mail?
Correct.
Do we also send it regular mail?
I did not know.
Okay. So, Your Honor, this is one of the issues we're having with these types of cases. We issued a citation. In this case, it was originally signed, but we didn't have our officer for the hearing. So then we sent out the notice of continuance to continue it. The respondent didn't show up for the original hearing date. So when we send out the follow-up notice for the continuance hearing, we don't get service. We do have our officer present. We could request a continuance to continue it again and see if we can get proper service. It's one of these scenarios where
Yeah, it's tricky because the court date that appears on the citation, you had good service for that one, but you didn't have the star witness.
Right.
And these are individuals, so there's no other way. What does the USPS say? It just says the person refused the sign or they
It
attempted
says delivery attempt action needed, and they were going to redeliver it before June 12th.
And when did you send that?
Sent it out May 23rd, but they, this is from this morning.
Is this the only one like this on the agenda?
no, we have, I think the next case, unless the clerk has gotten updated notices of delivery, number 3 on the agenda. number 5 on the agenda, number 7 on the agenda, number 8 on the agenda, number 9 on the agenda, and that's it. So, we had good service with the signed citation, and then the follow-up continuance notice, we don't have proof of service from the certified mailing.
And were they all sent out on the same date?
Correct.
I think they need to be renoticed. I don't think you have legal service for today. What I would suggest going forward is if the officer who presented the case is not available on the date when you have a signed citation, have another officer present on their behalf.
Okay.
Because I think that's going to be a continual problem with the certified mail, because these are people who may not receive it. The other thing I would suggest is send the certified mail immediately after the hearing, because they could have done 2 or 3 more delivery attempts on that, but there just wasn't time before today's hearing. But I don't think there's any benefit in me giving you an offer that's not premised on legally sufficient service.
Okay.
So try them one more time, and then I guess when on the next month's agenda, bring me back any case law that supports proceeding at the next hearing as well. If there's a way around this problem on these civil citation methods, maybe there's something that we can find, or you can find and bring back to me.
Okay.
But I think if we don't have, I'd be okay even with confirmation from USPS of delivery confirmation, not even a signed green card, but something to suggest that they got notice, because otherwise they don't have notice of today's hearing at all. So let's renotice them one time,
Okay.
and then one more time, and we'll go from there at next month's hearing.
All right, so for this first case, 2025-025, we will request a continuance and renotice them for the next hearing.
Okay. And I guess, let's see, can you scroll down that order for me? Is that in here? Yeah, so I don't even think, I only issued that order at the last hearing because it had been signed for. So I think just do a new notice of hearing, and I won't grant any orders for today. You'll just renotice them for next month. And then hopefully you'll have better certified mail response.
Okay.
So technically it'll be pulled and you'll renotice it for next month.
Renotice, okay. All right, so the next case, item number 3 on today's agenda, the respondent is Patrick Frazier. This is also a Dog on the Beach citation. We're gonna pull this one and renotice it as we don't have proof of service. Item 4 on today's agenda, we do have proof of service in this case. This is a parking citation. It was originally brought before you at a prior hearing, and it was continued because our officer wasn't present. Our officer is now present. We have proof of notice, and we have our officer and the town clerk available to testify on behalf of this case.
Who wants to go first? It looks like you're up, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Officer Cromwell, Ocean Police Department, good morning, Your Honor. On, let me see here, March 25th, 2025, at approximately 8:30 a.m., while routinely patrolling the area of I believe it's the 6,000 block of North Ocean Boulevard. Actually, it's Old Ocean. It's on the backside of it. I observed a vehicle parked in the grass in violation of Town Code 54-2. No parking on grass or vacant lots. I checked the registration of the vehicle. It didn't belong in the area. It was out of Lauderhill. On this particular one, I remember specifically handing it to the registered owner as he approached the vehicle and informing him that his driver's license was suspended. He allowed his girlfriend to drive away in the vehicle. So although there was no signature obtained, I did hand deliver it to the registered owner of the vehicle at the time of the issuance of this parking citation.
Okay. This is not. This is 28, right? Okay, here we go. I was on the wrong one.
I am on the right one.
The other one was a motorcycle, and I'm thinking, how are two people driving away on that motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure.
And it looks like in here, it looks like he did sign the citation though?
I don't know if I don't think I got a signature, no. I don't recall. If you have the original, I only have a printout.
Yeah, it looks like, scroll down a little bit for me.
Yeah, we do.
I
We
think
do have a
that's,
signed
Oh, okay.
citation.
I
because of
apologize.
continue.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, just so you know, I'm going off a copy generated online. I issued that citation with our old citation, so they entered it in, so I don't actually have that copy, so I apologize. I do.
no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding
Gotcha.
what you have here. So did the town send a separate notice or you're just? Okay.
Well, a separate notice for the.
Of the reset.
Yes.
Okay, and you got signed certified mail on that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so no issue with service, and the amount still remains unpaid?
Correct.
So the town is seeking, what amount today?
The citation cost is $40 and the town's administrative costs are $173.66.
And is anybody here for this case? Let the record reflect that in case 2025-028, the respondent is not present. Anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
And the photograph shows the car parked where it's not supposed to be. Okay. All right, in case 2025-028, I'll enter the town's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include a delivery confirmation from USPS for the previous order resetting this matter for today's hearing, that the town had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the officer, the photographs in the case file, and the additional documentation in the case file that the respondent was in violation of sections 54-2 and 6252 for the illegal parking that's depicted in the photograph on the citation. Because the parking amount remains unpaid, I will assess the $40 fine amount, plus I'll award the town its administrative costs for prosecuting this case today in the amount of $173.66 payable within 30 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the next case, item number 5 on today's agenda is case 2025-033. The respondent is Patrick Gallagher. This is also a signed citation case that was continued from last hearing. We do not have proof of service, so we will pull this one and renotice it.
Okay, thank you.
The next item on the agenda, item number 6, the respondent is Stephanie Rikita. This is a dog on the beach citation. It was a signed citation, and you heard it at the last hearing. We requested a continuance. We do have proof of service. We have our officer and town clerk available to testify for this case.
All right, who wants to go first?
Is it me?
Mhm.
I don't have it.
This one might be Randa. Oh, yeah, it's you.
It is me. Okay, I can go off that if you want. You have the picture, or is there a picture available? Honestly, the pictures refresh my mind, so. so-
I don't think I have any pictures.
That's okay, no, you blow it up, I'll go off that, it's fine. Okay, Your Honor, it's me again. What date was that? On March 15th at 12:02 p.m. While conducting beach patrol, I came in contact with an individual with a dog on the beach. It was on the beach, so the block is not gonna show up usually. I can't see anymore until she comes back. Can you scroll down a little bit? Yep. It was the first offense that this individual, I made contact with them, identified that the dog was not a service animal. Being that they were in violation of town code, they were issued a town code citation for unauthorized animal on the beach, or dog on the beach, first offense.
And do you have a photograph?
I'm
or
sure I
you-
do. I normally always take photos of dogs on the beach, and I'm sure I have a body cam footage as well.
Are you able to access that here this morning?
I could probably do that.
Okay. I need to see something. I mean, I believe you obviously, but I need to see, because for whatever reason on this one, it didn't attach. Is there a way in the future to attach?
They normally always do. I think sometimes if there's an issue when we send them through dispatch, there may be a hiccup just getting them attached. Either way, I would have had my body cam on. Either way, I just do the citations, the photos as a little additional easy, way to refer. It helps me to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me a log on.
Yeah, if you can try that. I'm sorry for the extra
No,
stuff
no.
there.
It's saved.
I didn't know which one it was.
Oh, if it saves my password, that'd be great. Okay.
And while he's looking at that, what's the town seeking? The fine amount plus your administrative costs?
Yes, Your Honor, this is, since this is an older citation, the fine amount is $25. The town's costs are $173.68.
Yep.
Is anybody here for this case? Seeing none, let the record reflect in case 2025-041, the respondent is not present.
I'm ready, Your Honor. How are you?
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Try to get it to a point where you can perhaps move away. I'm trying to catch it for her.
I think it froze.
Yeah, it's. Give it a minute. Trying to just get a picture of the dog.
That's the respondent, right? So the leash is there, just the dog.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna, there you go, there it is.
Okay, there
Sorry. Okay, do you need any more, Your Honor?
No, that's perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
If you wanna. Because I come back.
All right, anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
All right, in case 2025-041, I'll enter the town's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include USPS confirmation of delivery for the order resetting the violation hearing for today's hearing, that the town had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the officer as well as the footage that we just watched, and I'll ask that you put that in the case file just so that the record is clear, should that be necessary later, based on that body camera footage from the date of the citation, that the respondent's in violation of section 6228. Because this is a first offense, I'll assess the fine amount in the amount of $25 for that first offense, and I'll award the town's administrative costs in the amount of $173.68 for today's hearing, payable within 30 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the next three cases, I'm just gonna double check with the town clerk. Do we have any proof of delivery for the notice of continuance?
For number 7, no. Number 8, no. And number 9, no.
Okay, Your Honor, so case 2025-050, item number 7, case number 2025-051, item number 8, and case number 2025-052, we'll pull those and continue on to try to get good service.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, that takes us to case number 10, which I believe that concludes our police officer hearing for today. And we move into our regular community standards code violations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Item number 10 on today's agenda is case 2025-024. The respondent is listed in the property appraiser's office as Coat Land Trust with City National Bank of Florida as the trustee. We have our community standards officer present to testify along with the town clerk on proof of service. Steve, you want to come on up?
So, yeah, that's under on. Yeah, right.
That works.
That's fine for me, yeah, thank you. Who wants to begin on the notice? Madam Clerk, do you want to begin?
Sure. Code enforcement had entered into a enforcement case that came to our office. We had a complaint from a neighbor that there was work going on, and so I sent code enforcement out there. He then referred the case to us to send this notice of violation out. We gave him so long to produce a permit because there was work going on at the property without permits, and none of the contractors were registered at the time. So we sent this out, and we have yet to receive a permit for this work that is being done.
No application in?
No application.
Okay. You have a posting affidavit, did you get a signed green card back?
Yes.
Can you rattle off, or Mr. Shahan, can you rattle off the dates that those were sent?
I have it right here, hold on. Oh wait, that's the police department. What day we sent the letter out, you wanna know?
The certified mail, yeah. And what day you posted?
Let me go back to attachments, I'm so sorry. I posted it 4/18, well, the first post was stop work order notice was on April 18th. And then a notice of violation was delivered on April 25th.
Was that a posting or was that the certified mail?
That was the posting. I didn't send this.
The certified mail went out the same day, the 25th.
Okay.
Yes, I have that here.
And was that, did you get, he posted, so that's good service, but you said you got this, okay.
And we got the green card
File
back.
it down. Is that in my file too? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, there it is. Okay, so, Mr. Shahan, can you explain to me the nature of the work that was done without a permit?
Yes, we received a situation where someone told us about work was being done inconspicuously, a lot of work. He didn't think there was a permit. So I went over there to talk to the person who made the original phone call. And he gave me access to the pictures that I was able to take from next door. So the pictures that you see there are me on the property next door
Mm-hmm.
that the person gave me permission to go take pictures of. So he told me basically what was going on. And then I researched it, investigated it, found out there was no permit whatsoever. And then in turn made the notice of violation and stop work order and all that. So
Any idea what they're doing? Are they fixing a plumbing problem or?
they were doing a lot of remod. I didn't.
So it's not just the hole and it's not just the hole there.
Yeah, they were upgrading something in that hole there, which is I'm going to open that picture, was obviously very dangerous. The person who initially made the call knows that property and is a contractor. And basically what they're doing there is, first of all, they're opening a hole on Ocean Ridge, which anytime you put a shovel in the ground here in Ocean Ridge, you need a permit. Then it's huge, and then they have that rebar sticking out. So I'm not sure exactly what they were doing there. We think they were maybe trying to reinforce maybe that slab or that patio. We're not quite sure. But they were doing a lot of structural work. There's one picture there that they took away the between the sliding glass door and the window. It's almost like a shelf, an outdoor shelf, almost like a
I see
shelf.
that, yeah, so they were doing exterior work to the exterior of the building too, right? Like, I don't know if that's a balcony or like you say, some kind of weird shelf.
Like some kind of weird shelf or something, but they're doing structural work that is, I mean, definitely 150% needs a permit. And then upon prior investigation, like the town clerk said, we found out that they weren't registered, no permit activity, so we put a stop to that.
And have they continued to stop working?
Well, after I made the original post of stop work order, I know the police have been. Now, the orange sticker in that picture you just showed, the orange sticker was on the 18th, and then the white there is the violation. That was on the 25th. So at some point, the police have shown up, and there is evidence here that they had to go a couple of times. So here's one right here. They went on the 22nd. It was uploaded on the 22nd at 12:44 that the police had to go and stop them from working as well.
Okay.
After my original post.
And the town hasn't received any correspondence from the respondents regarding the permits?
I believe the town clerk has been talking with the property owner.
Yes. Yes, I spoke with the property owner. Right now, they are just doing work that doesn't require permits. So we have just made sure that those people are registered. I talked to the property owner yesterday. He did not say whether or not he was gonna come today. But he knows that he's supposed to have a permit.
And he understands he has to get a permit for the work that's photographed here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, is the respondent present? For the record, in case 2025-024, the respondent is not present, what's the town seeking in terms of remedy?
I guess I want to ask the town clerk, how long do we think it would be for them to get a permit for?
Depending on when they put it in there, I mean, and what the scope of work that they're doing, because I don't know what they're doing all on the inside. From what we've seen on the outside, it shouldn't, as long as they have all their documents, it shouldn't take no more than a week and a half,
Okay.
if they submit everything. I just don't know what's going on the inside to say what other additional, things, reviews that they would have to have.
So Your Honor, what we do is we would ask for 15 days to come into compliance, failing which a fine of $250 per day thereafter, in the town's cost of $173.96.
And you said 15 days or $250 fine?
Correct.
Let's, do you have any objection to my order having the exact date?
Your Honor?
So that'd be 6/18. Just so there's no confusion about what the compliance date is. And the town's, Ms. Avery's testimony is that 15 days is a reasonable amount of time for the respondent to be able to obtain the required permits?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. In case 2025-024, I'll enter the town's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents that in the case file, which include an affidavit of posting as well as a signed certified mail that the town had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the evidentiary case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer and town staff that the respondents are in violation of section 67-51 and 105.1 of the Florida Building Code for the work being done on the property without the required town permits. Require respondent to comply by obtaining those permits on or before June 18th. In the event of non-compliance, a $250 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. And because I found respondents in violation, I'll assess the town's administrative costs in the amount of $173.96 payable within 30 days for prosecution of today's case.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, Your Honor, the next two cases are with the same property owner. Case 2025-048, and the respondent is Howard Goldsmith. The property address is 5015 Old Ocean in the town of Ocean Ridge. This is a repeat violation. We have our code officer and our town clerk present to testify.
I had received, notice from our public works that we have brush that was hanging out into the road. This is a repeat violation, as you mentioned, that has been, we've had this before, this issue. And I had emailed them and told them, in just casual emails, hey, your brush is getting bad. You're gonna probably wanna get that, done again. Never heard anything back from her regarding that. I heard that it was not done still again. So I had code enforcement go back out to take pictures and assess it. And this is what we came back with, and we issued them a repeat violation of the brush hanging out into the street. And, we're not gonna touch with the other one yet, but that's where we're at now. And I guess it's a lot worse than this now.
So as I look at that property, am I looking at the further away bush, or am I looking at the sea grapes?
You're looking north, and everything that's over the street is part of that property. So you're looking at the sea grapes first, and then the Florida holly behind it.
That's all part of the same property?
Correct.
Okay.
And today, actually, I drove by and a person was walking and they had to go around the Florida holly. And I couldn't even pass them because by the time they go around the Florida holly, they're in the middle of the street there, you can see. So it's a safety hazard. It's a safety concern.
And what does the code say? The code says you cannot have encroachment into the street.
Correct, including landscape as an encroachment.
Okay, here's the code.
Sorry.
You gotta make me do the taco, turn my head sideways.
I don't know how to turn it on here. There's a way, I just can't see where it's at.
Okay.
Your Honor, just for purposes of the record, the previous order entered in this case was case number 2024-009. The property owner at that time was cited for the same violation of section 34-162A for encroachments into the right-of-way due to vegetation overgrowth. It did come into compliance. I believe the town actually brought it into compliance, or did they
Last
fix
time
it?
they did do it.
They did it.
They did.
fix it.
But there was an order finding violation
Yes.
in that case, and
And
that was a
it is
2024
recorded
case.
as well,
Yes,
because I do believe fines accrued under that order.
yes.
Okay. And as it relates to service, Mr. Shahan, do you want to testify as to when you posted? And it looks like there's a signed green card.
Sorry, this thing is slow. $50.15.
Should have been May 12th.
Yep, May 12th. May 12th.
Is the respondent present for this case? Seeing none, let the record reflect that in case 2025-048, the respondent is not present. What's the town seeking in terms of remedy?
Your Honor, since this is a repeat violation, with the repeat violation first observed on May 12th of 2025, the town is seeking $250 a day for each day of repeat violation, which includes through today's hearing, and it continues, $250 a day. And the town is seeking its cost of $173.96. The other thing, Your Honor, we would ask for this to be set as a status hearing for next month's hearing. The reason being is we have concerns whether or not the property owner will address the issue in the next 30 days. And so what the town would do is, at your next hearing, seek an order to allow the town to go on the property and correct the violation. If the violation is as serious as I'm hearing from the code officer, we could also just ask for an order now, for a shorter time period for the town to go out and actually correct the violation, which right now is estimated to cost $1,600 to correct the violation. So it does present sort of a life safety issue, given that pedestrians are having to go out into the street to walk around it. In that area, there's not a whole lot of pedestrian access. So, like I said, $250 a day from the day that the repeat violation was first observed, with the town's administrative costs, and then perhaps an order to go ahead and allow the town to correct it and seek a lien for the amount for the correction.
I'm just looking at the language in your notice of violation. Just give me 1 second. So the code clearly allows for the town to abate. I guess my concern is that the notice doesn't have any language about health, safety, welfare. So I certainly don't mind at the next month's hearing authorizing abatement pursuant to the language in the town code. I think it would be prudent though to send and you only have to give reasonable notice to just renotice them for that hearing for the abatement portion, just so that it's totally clear, because I don't see anything in the notice of violation or the description of corrective action that suggests that it's health, safety, welfare. So in the future on these, if you want me to give authorization at this hearing to abate, make sure that language is included in the notice, and I'm happy to do that. Because certainly I see that makes people get virtually into the middle of the street there to get around the bushes. So I think your goal gets accomplished the same, just send another notice of NOV, NOH for next month's hearing.
Okay.
And do you have a total on the number of days? Did you calculate that fine amount?
Yeah, I think I gave the clerk the wrong date because it's actually May 12th. So from May 20th to today's date, it's 15 days. So I guess add 8 more days to that, 23 days.
Oh, so you calculated from the 20th. This photograph here is dated the 12th, is that correct? But that's when the code officer, your testimony was, that was when you first observed it?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So you're going from the 12th now to today?
Correct.
Which would be, you said,
5,750.
that's the number that you needed. 5750 is what you said?
Yes.
Excuse me, correct.
And I don't know if there's a public comment on this or anyone wants to testify on this case? No?
Anyone have anything to say? Seeing none. All right, anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, in case 2025-048, I will enter the town's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail, that the town had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file and the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in repeat violation of section 34-162A. That's a repeat violation of the violation previously found in case number 2024-009, which is within the 5-year allowed period for repeat violations. Finding that the respondent violated the code beginning on May 12th and continuing through today, I'll assess a fine in the amount of $5,750 and continuing to accrue at $250 per day until the violation is cured. And I will, having found the respondent in repeat violation of that code section, I'll assess the town's administrative costs in the amount of 173, was it 96? Yes,
Yes.
173.96, payable within 30 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the next case on the agenda is the same property owner. It's case 2025-049. Howard Goldsmith is the respondent. This is also at 5015 Old Ocean. The code violation is maintenance and appearance standards. We have our code officer and our town clerk here to testify on this case.
The same day that we had noticed the brush out there, we also noticed that the house was in disarray. And so we went ahead and cited him on the building appearance standards. So I do have pictures. It was posted at the home like the other one was the same day, and a certified receipt where the green card was returned.
Okay. Mr. Shahan, are you gonna testify on this one?
Yes, the pictures pretty much speak for itself. The building is starting to, there's many places where there's rot. In the middle there toward the ground, you can see right there, there's some rot happening right there. Animals could get in there. One of the pictures, I took a picture on the north side of the property. There's garbage piling up. I don't know from when, where, how, who, or what. But it is gated off. So I was just in the driveway and taking that picture, and I could see the garbage there.
When you say it's gated, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You mean is it fenced?
A temporary fence, like a mesh construction fence.
On the side or
Right.
the back?
See the white bucket, white pot plant right there, on the north, that right there. They're behind that pot plant. It's like a temporary fence
Okay.
behind that plant. So the day I was posting those two violations, obviously taking some pictures, noticing the dilapidation, neglect of the property, pine needles everywhere, rot, garbage, animals could get in, numerous places on the soffit. There's holes in the soffit where there's no screen. It's definitely an eyesore and safety hazard.
What is that? Is that a house? Or
It
was it a
used to
house?
be, it appears to be, it used to be a house from, I've only been here 6 months, but yeah, according to records, it used to be a house.
I just wasn't sure with the two doors if that was
Yeah, it's
something
all,
other than a house. Okay.
every opening is boarded up.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the record, the previous order I mentioned in the other case that has been recorded also contained a violation for this section due solely to the boarded windows. And that occurred in 2024, obviously has not been corrected. We did not cite this as a repeat violation because even though it's the same section, we're now addressing other issues that are occurring at the property since it's become in such a state of disrepair.
Was it like this in, obviously it was boarded up in 2024, but nobody's been there for quite some time. Is that
Correct.
accurate? Okay.
That's our understanding.
Okay. Okay, so what are you seeking in terms of remedy today?
Your Honor, for the violation, we are seeking $250 a day to come into compliance within 30 days, failing which the $250 a day would accrue and the town's cost of $173.96.
So 30 days is July 3rd, does that work? That should be pretty close to 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the respondent present? Still not present in case 2025-049. Any communication from them on this? No. And no evidence of foreclosure or anything that the town's aware of?
There was a foreclosure and the foreclosing entity is the current owner. I believe the town clerk has had some conversations with the real estate agent on this property, but nothing else is going on with the property.
And was that back in 23 or was that more recent?
The conversation with the real estate has been probably in the past, I would say, 4 or 5 months.
Okay. And just so it's clear, what constitutes compliance in this case? Is it taking off the boards and remedying the facade of the building?
The facade, the soffit issues, the deteriorated boards, and obviously the garbage bags.
Okay. Okay. All right, anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, in case 2025-049, I'll enter the town's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the notice documents in the case file, which include, again, both an affidavit of posting and a signed certified mail that the town had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer as well as the photographs in the evidentiary case file that respondent's in violation of section 67-174. And I'll require a respondent to comply with that section on or before July 3rd, or a $250 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. Because I found respondent in violation of that listed code section, I'll assess the town's administrative costs in the amount of $173.96 payable within 30 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I do believe we have a citation case where the citation was issued for today's hearing, but it does not appear on the agenda, and we do have a respondent present.
It was one that I missed,
That's okay. So what, you want to add that as number 13?
if I could, yes.
Could you rattle me off the information, the case number?
Sure.
Is it in, it's not on the computer then, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
so you have a paper copy or?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, I can get that for you. The case number will be 2025-05, I'm sorry, what was this last one here? 50. I'm sorry, no, it won't be. My apologies. I had to think what this last one was. 53. 53. And it's parking citation P01830OR.
And the respondent's name?
It is going to be, there's actually no name listed. It's going to be an All Impact and Renovations LLC. Out of Fort Lauderdale.
And the code section that you cited them for?
It's going to be 54-2. No parking as posted, parking on grass.
Okay. And who wants to, do you have is this a signed citation case?
No.
No. Who wants to testify as to service?
I'll testify. Yeah. I'll file again, Your Honor. All right, on April 14th, 2025, at approximately 12:35 p.m., while conducting routine patrol of the town of Ocean Ridge in the Hammock Park area located at 6620 North Ocean Boulevard, I observed a 2025 black in color Chevy truck parked up over the curb onto a grassy area that's not designated for vehicles to be parked in. I ran the tag, identified the truck as belonging to All Impact Windows and Renovations LLC. I issued the vehicle a citation, which was left on the windshield for said violation. I also took photographs, which you don't have access to, so I'd be more than happy to let you see those if you need.
You're beginning to read minds off the file. Go ahead.
You would like to see them?
Yes,
Okay.
please. If you have them in paper copy, that's fine. And your citation as well. Do you have a copy of that? Okay. Okay. All right, anything further?
Not this time.
All right, the respondent is present?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have you switch with Officer Pylon here. Come up here, please, and give me your name.
Good morning. Joel Summers.
And are you affiliated with All Impact and Renovations
Yes,
LLC? What's your position?
Managing Director.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, let's start with the easy part. Let me ask Officer Pylon, can you show him these documents?
Yes, ma'am. So this is the citation that was left for you?
Yep.
Okay, and these are photographs that were taken.
Okay. Yes.
So those are the documents, obviously you got the citation because you showed up here, so, but do you have any objection to the additional documents being
I-
entered?
No.
Okay, so is that your truck?
Yes.
Okay. The parking lot was full?
It was full, and I asked the maintenance people there if it was okay to park there. They told me yes, so I went ahead and parked there. According to this, it says no parking as posted, but there's nowhere does it say anywhere in the park, no parking on grass, nor does it have a sign specifically there that says no parking. I do have pictures of the park everywhere in the park, and there's sections to the right where it says no parking on that side of the street, and then on the back side it says no parking over there. And then on the left side of the park, it says no parking, but there is no posted signs that say no parking there. So that's my objection there as to why I'm here.
Okay. When you say you spoke to maintenance people, who do you
On the
mean?
maintenance crew that was there cleaning the park, there was like 4 or 5 guys there. And
Did they appear to be town staff?
they were cutting the grass and cleaning up the park and everything.
Okay.
So I asked them, hey, is it okay if I park here? And the guy said, yeah, you can park there. I was like, okay, fine. So that's,
Okay. Did you get the gentleman's name?
no, I did not.
What's the town's response? Officer Byland?
Sorry, I'm gonna record what I'm saying. He's right about the parking signs. There was not one posted in the grass area, but I think the curb itself kind of deters parking. You have to jump the curb to the park, so that's my only response to that.
Okay. What, does somebody have the code handy?
Yeah, sure, I'll hold 1 second.
Should be in 20.
There's another one, it's, I don't know, 54-2, I think, I don't recall. There's another one also for parking, I don't know what it's called right now, it's gonna be, go just type in parking. There you go. So the general one is the one that I request. Scroll down. Scroll down. Angle. Right there it is. There's 5481, which is no parking in the zone.
Can you show me 54-2, which is what's on the citation?
I believe, Your Honor, that's a general statute that covers all the parking, so the subsection doesn't pop in there. See the top left, to the left. Click on that first one, left. No, down. See, it says section 54-2, penalty of certain traffic control.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Click on that. Okay.
So, Your Honor, just to make it more clear, that's the general statute, and then we jump down to the other ones, which we have. There's actually 2 violations. There's one of no parking where no posted, and there's also parking on grass, it's not designated for vehicles to be parked on. So we have 2 separate statutes that cover this subject.
Where's the one that says no grass, on the grass?
Yeah, it's in there.
And
Never looked at it yet.
I would assume there should be a sign there. That would be my,
Well,
Understand.
I get you on the, I understand what you're saying. The trouble is that the code that they cited you for, even though it says that on here, that's not what that section says there. And I think his point about the curbing is, just because there's not a sign, clearly that's not a parking space, and you can tell that's not a parking space. What is the town seeking today?
Your Honor, the citation fee has, I believe, accrued to $40. But I'm not sure in terms of cost with what we would be seeking, since there were no notices sent out except for the original citation. So, Your Honor, realistically, we're really just seeking the $40.
Okay, good.
Since he showed up, we wouldn't seek any additional costs because we didn't even have it on the agenda.
So typically,
Surprise!
surprise that it's your lucky day, sir. What they normally ask me for is both the citation amount, which I guess started in this case at $25 or $30 and escalates if you don't pay it within 10 days to $40. They typically also ask me for administrative costs for today's hearing, which are in every other case on today's agenda have been in the amount of $173.66. Given that you showed up here, I was not going to assess those against you anyways, even if they had asked me for them. I think the citation amount is enough, so I'm only going to assess the $40.
May I request the original fee since I showed up? Because if not, I would have just paid it, I was under the assumption that I was,
Your Honor, we don't have an objection to that. That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, so $30. That
Thank you.
That is more than reasonable for a parking violation. I'm fine to do that. You did take your time to come here today. I would also, I guess, put the town on notice that it may want to consider putting a sign on that location, because I think this is the same curb that I see.
They do it all the time, and it's because, it's a beach parking lot, so they will literally park against the gates if you let them.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
it's crazy.
It's a small,
It is, it really is.
And I think the town has heard you with regard to if somebody there did tell you that it was okay to park there. I would say in the future, if somebody tells you that, get their name and their position with the town, so that when I ask
it
you
was
that
the
question.
guys cutting the grass.
Yeah, I don't, not knowing who it is, but the
Yeah.
town, I'm sure their ears perked up to hear that, so I'm sure they'll be addressing that with whoever is working at that town lot.
Good idea.
Yeah, just to make sure, because that's not what their code says, so
Right.
that shouldn't be what you're being told by anyone on site. Anything further you'd like me to hear?
No, ma'am.
Okay, anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
I just have one quick thing. Can we change that number from 53 to 54? Someone grabbed it before I told you that, sorry. 54.
All right, noted. So this will be in case 2025-54. I'll enter the town's evidentiary case file, which include the citation as well as 2 photographs dated April 14th. Given that the respondent is present, I will find that service for today's hearing was legally sufficient. Based on the photographs in the case file and testimony of the officer, I'll find respondent in violation of section 54-2. But I will only assess the original fine amount of $30, so go ahead and pay that as quickly as you
Where do
can.
I pay?
You can pay it to the clerk right at the window there, outside the door. You'll get an order that says that as well, but just pay it so it doesn't become a problem for you in the future.
Okay.
And I will assess no administrative costs, so just the $30 will be the only fine, and I wish you the best of luck, okay?
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Do we have nothing further? Okay.
Nothing further? Okay, with that, I will adjourn at 11:03.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.